let's jump into court-ordered sales, what you probably should know but don't. The general idea out there is that court-ordered sales are always a really good deal, and that is just simply not the case. They absolutely can be, but it also really depends on what your risk tolerance is. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what is a court-ordered sale, some of the processes involved, some of the risks involved, and we'll have an example or two of some that were good deals and some that weren't, and ultimately, is a court-ordered sale right for you? So let's jump into it. Now, court-ordered sales happen for generally one of three reasons, and the most common one by far is going to be mortgage default, and that is the owner of the home has simply just stopped making their mortgage payments. Another thing you see is debt enforcement, and that is when a creditor has obtained a judgment against the property. And third is going to be an estate or partnership dispute. It could be a death in the family and they don't quite know what they're going to do with the property, or the other one commonly is divorce. And at the beginning, a court-ordered sale functions a lot like a standard MLS transaction. You can view it, you can book showing, you can write offers on it, all of that is the same. It starts to get different in the actual offer-making process. On a normal transaction, you as a buyer will have your standard buyer conditions, whatever those are. However, in a court-ordered sale, there will also be a seller subject, and that is subject to court approval. Once the first offer is accepted, that price is publicly disclosed and a court date gets set, usually within about 3 to 4 weeks. And anybody looking at the listing can see the amount the accepted offer is for. And this will come into play later because on that court date, any other interested party is able to write an offer, and this now creates a bit of an auction environment. And a judge will read through the offers received and award judgment to the highest acceptable offer the court is willing to take. Now, the lenders and the people selling the property, their goal is to try their best to get fair market value. This example I'm going to show is something that is more akin to the first thing I mentioned, where it is a newer home, it shows great, and it's in a really great neighborhood. And that is this home here in Burke Mountain. And you'll see here that the lot is actually huge for a home in Burke Mountain. The home is only 8 years young, and they paid $1.6 million for it, which is absolutely a stellar price in Burke Mountain for a home like this. The only detractor is that the home has 4 bedrooms, and normally in Burke Mountain, you're seeing homes that have 5, 6, or 7 bedrooms. But regardless of all of that, whoever bought this home should be thrilled with how much they paid for it. Some of the other key differences in purchasing a court-ordered sale is you are always buying the home in as-is, where-is condition. Now, what this means is the lender or the seller is making no warranties or guarantees about the condition of the home when you receive it. The other one is there are very limited disclosures with the home. Generally, or often on the MLS, there will be a property disclosure statement where the seller is disclosing some things about the home. In a court-ordered sale, that is never the case because the lender has never lived in the home and they are under no obligation to do so. Third, limited subjects for buyers. If you are not the first person to write the offer and get it accepted, then you will have no subjects of any kind, and all your offers must be subject-free with deposit in hand. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do any of your diligence beforehand, but what it means is your agreement to purchase the home cannot be made conditional to those things. So now you're probably thinking, well, why would a buyer want to buy a court-ordered sale? What are some of the benefits for buyers? And this may come as a surprise, but one of the big ones is there's no emotions involved. Like in a typical MLS transaction, sellers can often get really emotional and may reject an offer that they feel is, let's say, low in price. But in a court-ordered sale, that is not the case. The lender, yes, of course, they're looking to get fair market value. However, the other thing is the lender just doesn't want to lose. And often this is where people are finding the good deals. Sure, they write an offer that's a bit less than fair market value, but it is more than the lender is owed on the property. Both parties walk away happy. Of course, there is a matter of which how these court-ordered sales are priced. Much like an MLS transaction, sometimes some groups will just list a property well below market value to attract multiple offers quickly and get a deal done. Now, As I had mentioned previously, the as is, where is condition of the home, and this is the biggest risk to any buyer purchasing a court-ordered sale. Because the seller is making no warranties or guarantees, you might go view the home and agree to purchase it based on the condition you see it and expect all the appliances to be there. Well, guess what? Possession day might come and there could be no appliances in the house. You have very little, if no, recourse to do anything about it. Or maybe somebody poured concrete in the sink, whatever it is. Now, those are really extreme examples and almost never happen in my experience, although it has happened. I'm just trying to convey a point here. What is your tolerance for risk? Because these things could happen. And in the vast majority of cases, they don't, but it's something you do need to be aware of. The other thing you need to be aware of, especially if you are the first person to get your offer accepted, is that other people are going to bring competing bids and probably pay more than what you've already offered because they know exactly how much you've offered. So you need to be prepared if you see other people there on the court date to pay more than you've already offered. And this is by far the most common question I get. Are court-ordered sales cheaper? And I know this sounds like a cop-out, but the answer is not always, but sometimes. It's very property dependent, and it kind of depends on what your expectations are for what you're looking to purchase. Are you looking to buy something that's very move-in ready and updated? Because if that's the case, more often than not, you're probably not going to get the greatest deal on it. But if you're somebody who is looking to make some money via sweat equity and you're not afraid to buy something that is maybe a little distressed or downtrodden, then there'll be a lot more opportunities for you in the world of court-ordered sales. Who are the people that actually should be considering a court-ordered sale? Well, often it's going to be experienced buyers and investors. Those are probably the section of the market where you see the majority of buyers. First-time home buyers can look at a court-ordered sale, but once again, what is your risk tolerance, and is this process too stressful, or is there too much uncertainty for you to move forward comfortably? Now, I find court-ordered sales to be extremely interesting because in the past I have had clients do quite well with a court-ordered sale. But once again, it just really comes down to your personal preference, and I know I've said this, but risk tolerance. I can't stress that enough because rarely is the court-ordered sale home, the home with the beautiful white picket fence and, the pie cooling on the windowsill. That's just often not the case. If you are curious about court-ordered sales in the greater Vancouver area or the Fraser Valley, make sure to let me know on here. I'd be more than happy to put together a list for you. Or if you are curious, hey, is there something out there that kind of suits my needs and my budget? Well, I'm sure we can find something like that for you as well. I'm always happy to walk you through these processes and equip you with the knowledge you need to move forward confidently. And if you found this video helpful, or maybe you had some other questions about court-ordered sales, let me know in the comments down below. I am here to be a resource for you. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.